This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady News Source.
Welcome, I'm Joe Ali.
And I'm Brian Marseille, and here's today's Grady News Source.
It is that time of the year again, and I'm not talking about the holiday season. Cold weather and gloomy skies have everyone feeling a bit down, but for some, it's a lasting mood. Reporter Jasmine Calhoun brings us more details on what this disorder is. Jasmine, what is this disorder called?
No, Joe. Science calls this seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. Now, imagine suffering from severe case of winter blues every day, from as early as September to as late as March. For about 10% of the U.S. population, this is their reality, according to the American Psychological Association. Days spent outside laughing are rare for Margie Hunter and her granddaughter Anissa McIntosh during this time of the year. Although generations apart, both of them suffer from seasonal affective disorder.
When August go away, then I know the fall of the year fixing to come. The leaves get to fall and I get sad. I don't know.
Neuroscience professor Philip Holmes believes that it may be the lack of light that causes people like Margie to be sad. This light is important for the body's natural clock.
Sure. So our biological clocks are reset every day by sunlight. So they're very sensitive to sunlight. Okay. So they take information from the retina, which projects to a part of the brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. And this is where most of the clock is working. Most of the clock resides in the suprachiasmatic nucleus.
Holmes says that sunlight has a positive effect on people diagnosed with SAD because it awakens our neurotransmitters.
When the sun comes out, it ain't got to come out but a second. I'll be just that happy as long. Once I wake up and I see the sun, it makes me so happy. And if I go out in the sun, I'll be happy. Right.
Seasonal affective disorder affects everyone differently, but Anissa, a psychology major, believes that it isn't just the weather.
I was driving down the road and time had just changed and it was 5 o'clock and it got dark and I started feeling sad and I was like, I do not like this feeling. Trouble getting up in the mornings around fall of the year, not just because it's cold. Everybody has that problem. Oh, it's cold, I don't want to get up. No, you have that feeling of just being uncomfortable, or kind of sad, unmotivated to get up in the mornings.
Anissa and Margie both say that they work together to motivate each other during this difficult time. They just wish that people will understand that seasonal affective disorder is not just seasonal. It is a serious affective disorder.
While patients continue to deal with this serious disorder, there is hope for them to feel better. Experts say that there are 2 ways for better people to feel better.
For someone with seasonal affective disorder, they may benefit from more exposure to sunlight because their system may just not be responding in an adaptive way to the normal daylight cycles.
These sunlight treatments are available at most medical centers. The Athens Regional Hospital has also just published a study about a new kind of treatment they are offering called talk therapy. This treatment allows for patients to express the negative thoughts they have when suffering from seasonal affective disorder. For people who believe they have symptoms of seasonal affective disorder, it's best for them to speak out and not hold in their emotions. It may sound simple, but she believes the best advice is to do whatever it takes to enjoy life.
Well, I would recommend to people who have symptoms of SAD to not ignore their symptoms. Like, this is a real problem. It's okay that you're feeling this way. I would definitely try talking to your friends and your family and explain that, the weather's affecting you, that you're feeling this way. I would try to get some professional help if you want. And I would try to do things that really give you enjoyment in life. Like, go outside if it makes you feel better. Watch Netflix if it makes you feel better. Just try to make your life as easy as possible.
If you are someone who believes you suffer from these symptoms, please visit your local health center.
After the break, we'll look at how a small group of teens at the library is changing their entire community.
Hey, this job looks perfect. It says you need people skills,
Check.
Driver's license.
Check.
And a high school diploma. You've got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that. You are good to go.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of this born racer having 157 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR? 1 in 125 billion. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm NASCAR driver Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
A group of teenagers is getting together to try and make a change in the community and have fun all at the same time. Reporter Jerron Matthews explains how a teen advisory board is giving kids responsibility and a place to openly express themselves. Jerron, what are teens really getting out of this?
Well, Brian, budgeting money, helping homeless, and planning for events are just a few ways the Teen Advisory Board, or TAB for short, is making an impact on their community. Crystal Slayton is a 16-year-old One Direction fan. She is also a volunteer, event planner, and fundraiser, all a part of her work at Oconee Teen Advisory Board. Crystal loves TAB because she can cut loose and do something that truly matters.
Leadership in this stuff goes on resumes and stuff and college applications, and that when the college sees your college application and they say, hey, this girl was president of a teen council and she has gotten planning skills from that, crafting skills.
Secretary Christina Slayton says she joined TAB for a number of reasons, but planning events for her peers stuck out to her the most.
Resume, being with friends, and getting to help out my age group with the events that I know that they would like, and helping out my community.
But it's not just about learning. Sometimes kids just need a safe place to be kids.
Just enjoy being around other teens in a really safe space. You know, the library is a neutral space. Everybody's welcome. There's no sort of requirement of what we expect. And they just come here to, talk to their friends and kind of share their ideas.
Well, over 100 members are participating in their events each month, sharing time and sharing ideas to shape their future. Live from the newsroom, Jerron Matthews.
Thanks, Jerron. I have a question. How many students are actually participating in the events with the board?
Over 100 members are participating in their event each month.
Thank you.
That's what TAB is all about. Jerron Matthews, 570 News.
A new president next month to oversee future programs discussed in meetings. Those interested in joining TAB can go to their next meeting on December 9th at Oconee County Library at 7 o'clock. With a mediocre turnout of only 3 members at the group's last meeting, TAB is introducing new initiatives in hopes that students will show up. Part of these initiatives is raising TAB awareness. To do that, the group will be marching in the Oconee County Christmas Parade. Young Adult Coordinator Molly Moore feels outreach is the most critical approach for gaining membership.
There are are regular users and then there are non-users, and we have to bridge that gap. And by bridging that gap, you only can do it through outreach, whether it's going into schools, advertising your services, your new technology, any programs that you're doing.
Events will be another major part of their drive to gain members. Anime Club, Zombie Prom, and talent shows are just some of what they will offer in the coming months. For more information on joining or getting involved with TAB, you can visit the Oconee County Library Young Adults Facebook page or give the library a visit in person. For those of you looking for a glimpse of what TAB has to offer, the group has a new slate of events for the Oconee community this winter. Events are open to all ages. The Anime Club hosts a free forum where they preview anime, manga fan art, and cosplay with snacks provided. During the Indie Crafternoon, the group will be spinning vinyl records while making their hipster crafts and holiday gifts. In December, TAB is teaming up with the Athens Humane Society for Pause and Relax, where they bring in puppies to play with for relaxation. In the spirit of the holiday season, they are also hosting a do-it-yourself ugly Christmas sweater competition. The dates and times for these December events will be announced at the TAB meeting on December 9th.
I'm Fernanda Perez, and when we come back, we'll see what UGA Saturday football means for local businesses.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Thanks for coming in for the interview.
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right, we got your personal references, your resume, high school diploma or equivalent.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Yes, it's right there.
Great.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
The Bulldogs have just 3 games left in the season, but that may not be the only thing coming to an end in Athens. Downtown Athens businesses may be seeing an end to big spending. Tonight, reporter Niamani Watson tells us exactly how does football have such an impact on the local businesses.
Fernanda, some owners say a win could bring in the big bucks, but others say it's who the team plays.
Saturday in Athens and fans fill the stands, but Saturdays before and after the games are usually spent downtown. For some businesses, if Georgia wins or lose, so do they.
When Georgia wins, people want to stay in the atmosphere and just spend time with their family and friends, and that makes them want to shop more.
Sarah says the recent win against Kentucky brought in several $1,000s more than previous weekends when Georgia lost.
People wanted to stay downtown and stay in that atmosphere, and we got a lot more shoppers.
While winning may be good for clothing stores, one restaurant manager says it's the losers that bring the fans through the doors.
I mean, they lose. Bar service is big, you know. People try to cope with the sorrows.
Cameron says whether Georgia wins or loses doesn't play a big factor in business. It's who they play that matters.
Big games, it's usually double to almost triple the business.
One bar owner thinks the same about game days and business, but he says another factor other than football is more important.
Alabama was a pretty rainy weekend. Last weekend was pretty rainy. The weather has certainly had a big impact on downtown in this year's football season.
And the owners actually say game times can make a difference as well. Some owners prefer night games because it gives people more time to enjoy the city.
Sonia Mani, the next home game is November 21st against Georgia Southern, and it's at night, right?
That's right, Fernanda, which means the clothing stores and bars are going to make a lot of money that weekend. Live from the newsroom, Niamani Watson, 570 News.
There is one local resident that knows very well what Saturday football means for local businesses. After the game, there is usually one place where all the red and black fans head to, and that is downtown Athens. Business owners welcome the thousands of fans willing to spend money on food, drinks, and accessories. Tonya Belmak knows the feeling firsthand. He himself is an owner of a restaurant called Tassa, where he serves authentic Egyptian food. He also says that when people help local businesses, it shows a good side, not only of the university, but the town itself.
How awesome this university is and how awesome this town is. You know, it really speaks to that, so I'm proud.
Tonya Belmak hopes that next home game means even more business for the locals. While many businesses look forward to game weekends, this is especially true of package shops. With all the people, tailgates, and other events, stores that sell alcohol have to start preparing early in the week. Profits can increase anywhere from 20 to 50% on a football weekend. However, the higher demand also comes with higher expenses. Package shops have to pay additional employees to make sure the stores can handle all the customers. Employees at 5 Point Bottle Shop say that while sales are always high, when the dogs take the field, exactly how high is determined by the atmosphere surrounding the game. While there is no doubt to the influx of customers that football brings to Athens, the total impact might not be as big as you might think. The Athens Convention and Visitors Bureau says that the percentage of economic activity in Athens during game weekends is not even 10% of total yearly business. The Bureau says that the many other events, including live music, weddings, and conferences, bring in much more overall than UGA's 7 or 8 home football games.
One fashion show, but an effort from several designers. I'm Emily McClanahan. Coming up, who made the fashion show possible, but also where you can get these trendy new items.
My new mom and I have a lot in common.
The great outside.
We both love the outdoors.
So shiny.
That's not a flower. We both love geology.
Oh, look. An igneous one.
That's not a rock. And she knows a lot about wildlife.
A labradoodle.
That's not a dog. Hanging out has been kind of fun.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Athens is known for producing music, art, and fashion, but the hard work it takes to actually make it is rarely talked about. The reality is, it is extremely difficult and expensive to become famous. Reporter Natalie Rowe found how one local business is helping young artists make it. Natalie, how exactly are they helping the art scene?
Thanks to My Athens, young artists are getting to taste fame through a New York-style fashion show. It takes a lot of time and money to put on a fashion show, and that's something college students just don't seem to have. But through local events like this, young artists are getting a chance to find their voice. The cameras flash in Trevor Blake's face. This is not New York's Fashion Week, it's My Athens fall show, Projections. Trevor, a fashion student by day, owns the runway by night.
It's really cool to be acknowledged. I mean, that's always an important part of doing art, is knowing that your work is appreciated. And I feel like that's so important for any artist, is to know that your art is important and art is important to the community.
Fashion shows are expensive, and artists like Trevor don't have the money or resources to produce their own. That's where My Athens comes in. Through donations of time, money, and products, the local Athens community was able to expose 8 different designers and their teams to a crowd of over 200.
I think it's created an economy in which people understand that to succeed and to live well without a whole lot of money, we can trade with each other all the things that we're really, really good at.
Though the event ended Sunday, the movement is now being brought to the boutiques. At the fashion show, items like these were seen on the runway. Now customers can buy these same looks in stores right downtown. Back to reality, Trevor is fixing the racks of dynamite. Working hard to pay for his passion, he is grateful for everyone who helped to give him the small taste of fame.
Just a student, having that presentation, having makeup artists and the beautiful people at Washington Square come out and do hair, and I mean, having that opportunity, I thank My Athens for that.
You too can help some of Athens' local artists by shopping in boutiques downtown. And who knows, you might be rocking some of Athens' latest runway wear. Live in the newsroom, Natalie Rowe.
All 8 of these shops are conveniently located downtown. Even though the organization is called My Athens, some might call it Our Athens. They highlight original artists working together, creating a variety of cultures. Whether it's photography showcase or a fashion show, My Athens wants to foster every artist's talent. They do so in many different ways.
I believe that we're sort of painting a living portrait, if you will, of the city as it becomes itself. When we're not doing that, we have a blog where we cover fashion, food, and the arts, a story a week about each topic.
The next My Athens event on UGA's campus will take place this Thursday at Oglethorpe House. Many boutiques and stores compete for your business downtown every day. However, in the case of the My Athens Fashion Show, stores didn't compete, they partnered. 8 different shops and boutiques participated in the Projections Fashion Show, but all 8 realized they needed each other to make the event a success.
The idea of having people that do sell the garments that are involved in fashion and bring them together, it's even better for My Athens because they have someone who knows what they're doing, who knows what they're talking about.
There was only one runway, but the 8 store participants used it all for the same cause. They say they have their own specialties, but all of their styles combined make an even better display.
You know, it's always said that art brings people together and fashion is part of art, and so that's bringing someone together, and it's great to be celebrated with everyone.
My Athens will host another fashion show in the spring, and many of the same stores plan to come back together to make it happen.
After the break, we'll have a recap of tonight's news stories.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. Yeah, but I don't know where to start. That's why we're here. We're free, Handsome. I think we're breathtaking. And here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Biology homework, G. I got this. Is that Bran?
Colleges love extracurricular activities.
Chess really isn't my thing. I got this. Doesn't matter. Go ahead. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos.
Fire and ice.
Those don't really go together.
Go to getschool.com for more info.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me, sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If the door's locked, knock first. Don't burp, don't swear, don't stare, don't use bad language, or talk with your mouth full. Keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
And don't interrupt. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give your seat up to anybody who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you want to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
Good talk.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Here's a recap of today's stories. Seasonal affective disorder is a disease that affects individuals starting in the fall, going into the winter months. The disorder can affect all types of age groups, bringing upon serious depression. If you suffer from depression throughout these months, don't just shake it off as the winter blues. Do yourself a favor and please seek help.
The Oconee Teen Advisory Board is working to improve their community through literary events and service projects. Since most of the board recently graduated, they are currently recruiting more members. The board is hosting events throughout December to increase membership.
Saturday football is not only an exciting time for fans of the Georgia Bulldogs, but it also helps hundreds of local businesses make hundreds of thousands of dollars per game. Live in the newsroom, I'm Fernanda Perez.
The Projections Fashion Show had cameras and flashing lights, but the real news is how the community came together in one group effort.
Thank you for tuning in to tonight's 570 newscast. Be sure to join us again for Thursday evening newscast. Good night.
Grady News Source is a student production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours.
Dr. King, what's your next move?
In March from Selma to Montgomery. Selma is loud for every man, woman, and child. We will not wait any longer. In front of a crowd. Mine eyes have seen the glory. Glory, glory, hallelujah.
Okay, Simon, what do people wear?
Clothes.
That's right, so it's important to learn how to dress yourself. Here's how it's done. Shirt, underwear, pants, socks, shoes. Underwear, always first, name tag on the back. Then pants and shirt. Go ahead and put this on. Now with the shirt, you want to make sure the first button's right or you have to start all over again, okay? Socks left on left, right on right. Tying the shoes, we're gonna take the laces, we're gonna cross them over, we're gonna turn around where the bunny goes down in the hole, pull it tight, and bunny ears. Got it?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Hey, Gabby, how you doing? How's the play date and sleepover?
Dad, it was great.
Awesome. Okay, I'm on my way. Hey, guys, what are you doing?
We're going swimming. We're going biking. Yeah!
I'll see you in a little bit, guys. I love you.
Hi, babe. How was school today?
Hi, Dad. It was great.
Okay, honey. I'll be home soon. Remember, you're never too far away from your kids to be a dad. Reach out and take a second to check in, because sometimes the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
It should be on,
All right, good evening. Welcome to the Grady News Source Post Show. I'm Richards, I was the senior production manager.
That's very good. Off-camera voice. It sounds just like me, too. Hi, I'm Michael Castagera. I'm the one that actually is appearing on camera at the present time, while the voice you heard was that of the senior production manager, who's wandering the highways and byways of the newsroom trying to figure out where the heck everything is. To my left is the producer, the senior producer of the newscast, Matt. Introduce yourself, and why don't you give us an overview of the newscast?
Yeah, my name is Matt Metaxas. I was the producer today, or senior producer, I guess is the official title. I mean, not a whole lot of negative things. I told him during the show, is it bad that I don't have a whole lot of criticism, you know, because I thought it went pretty smooth. The same sort of things that we talk about on Thursday apply today, it seemed. I mean, shaky shots, sort of, some of them were out of focus. But everything else went pretty smooth. Everything was dropped on time. We didn't have any, except for like y'all's, but I mean, y'all worked hard on it, so not a big deal, and it wasn't stressful. I know it was stressful for you, but as far as like, it wasn't stress. It was no. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not being
No, call her out.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not criticizing you at all. I'm just saying it was a pretty stress-free day because everybody got their stuff in on time. It wasn't a big deal. Mostly labeled properly. Scripts were done properly, except for one. I think package script was in the rundown. But other than that, I thought it went pretty smooth. The biggest thing is just we all have to work on controlling the things we can control, which is the filming of it. And if we take care of that, you know, nothing else is going to be a problem. So if we take care of the things we can control, I think the things we can't control will be more few and far between.
Oh, Mr. Senior Production Manager? Who's them? You mean, yeah, okay.
It's not something you would think about. I mean, I have mine right now, obviously, but when you're doing the actual news and you're shooting interviews or you're on TV at any time you want to, what I would do, what I did today when I did this thing over here. I was doing this thing over here. You just tuck the mic wire in and hide it as much as possible. So if you watch like the news on TV, you'll see they don't ever have the mic wire. They go through like a lot of things to hide that stuff. So like that. So that'll make you look like a lot more professional when you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, get rid of the mic wire. Don't make it so obvious. Yeah, minor detail.
I know this is weird, but hey, can you put your mic? I was interviewing somebody. Hey, can you put your mic on your shirt? She was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And what I always say is, sorry, I've said this like 15 times now that I've been doing that story. I always say, sorry, my producer will kill me if they see a mic wire. If you could, I know it's weird, but can you just run that up your shirt, and that's always okay. So just that's what stands out to people. But other than that, I thought it was a good show. I can't think of anything technical.
Yeah.
We had some double button issues and some lower third issues.
Yeah. Yeah. The biggest issue is getting the basics back down of scripting, et cetera, and making sure we're doing that. Getting very emotional and choked up, are you? Yeah, I can see that. It's not a comment, it's just a fact statement. We went in actually about 2.5 minutes light, and it tells you something. We got out exactly on time. Now, we created some things in there, but we had to cut also. So it does get that issue of timing, and that's, as soon as, I've said this before, as soon as that package is laid down, your A-roll is down, you tell the senior producer what the runtime is, and then we can figure out the issues, and we got to figure that out. Got to get that communicated a lot sooner. I don't disagree with comments that both Matt and Dylan made. I think you had a fairly solid newscast. A little bit on the feature side. That's the one issue we got to get. You got to harden these stories up. I want them to be news. We're doing a lot of feature stuff. Up to a point, that's all right. but facts, figures, numbers tell me. And the biggest issue is tell me how it affects me, the viewer, okay? I'd put out a note a while ago saying, let's try and stay away from too many of the university stories. The only people interested in the university stories are the students and the faculty. They're not the big numbers. The big numbers are the general audience, and that's who we want to talk to. So, that being the case, what I was going to do is suggest let's walk through the newscast. And what I'm going to do is call you up section by section. One of the unfortunate things, and we're running on these that, and I'm critical of myself on, is I go over your scripts a lot, and I'm working very hard to make sure you write it conversationally, you write the video, opening shot, closing shot, and how you're structuring it. Unfortunately, a lot of times during the newscast, I'm getting too involved in the mechanics, to be very honest with you. I'm making sure we're timed right, where the shots are, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't give as much attention to the packages as I really, really want to. I did watch most of your packages today and got a fairly good idea of them, but I want to get each one of your thoughts on them. So why don't we start at the top? And here's what I want you to do. Jasmine, that would be your cue. So think in terms, yeah, you're the lead package. Think in terms of, it's always a matter of what did you come out of this with, okay? What is it that you did in the piece that you thought was good and worked? What do you need to do different, okay?
Well, what worked was basically trying to get a different angle of SAD. It's been covered before, so we really wanted to humanize it, but also add in the angle of a biological effect of it. That's what we really wanted to highlight, and I felt like we did a pretty good job with that, especially with our last SAD. And it's mention that is that, you know, this isn't just social or just being SAD. It's more than that than this. And something that I wish I would have done was the B-roll. That killed me. But it's honestly like I'm just getting to the point where you just got to start recording everything. As soon as you walk in, just put the camera on, because that hurt.
And again, with the people, and with yours is a good example. Yeah, we ended up with fairly weak video. Have the people do something, okay? And this isn't, now there's a fine line between staging and having them do something normal. So what I'm going to do is say to them, you know, in this particular case, I forget the lady's name, but I'm going, all right, you know, she'd come home or something and say, if I wasn't here, what would you normally be doing? Oh, I'd be, you know, getting dinner ready, or I'd be, you know, doing the dishes. Let me have you do that, okay? Have them do the stuff and shoot them doing fairly normal stuff so that I got it. You got to shoot B-roll, lots and lots of B-roll. We're really, that's one of the things I would look at on all of these news packages. We were a little weak on the video side, and we've got to do that. One of the things I think you all are doing, and I assume Shumway's talked to you about, is you're cutting away from people and cutting back, and you're doing cuts in, cut in tight, cut away, and that's good when I'm doing sound bites and using that, and that's helping, but I got to get a lot more video. You had a good human angle to it, but we needed to neaten that up, and that was the issue of saying, okay, and specifically SAD, how many people are affected? You know, give me the specifics of it, and talk a little bit about that person and what the symptoms are, etc. So you're helping me a little bit more. That's the one thing we'd look at more. Mr. Joseph, since you were anchor, any thoughts? Yeah. You can use either mic, they both work.
You touched on this always before, but just taking the pauses and looking down and just taking a break, because there was times I noticed myself just like, when they were telling me to keep reading, like it was like coming up on the prompter, but instead of just looking dumb at the camera, just like look down for a second and like look up, and then by the time you do that, it'll be right there on the prompter. So instead of that, I was just like standing there, like waiting for it to get up, and then I would start reading. So yeah, so just that. And
I'll be honest with you. Now we had the timing and all those issues I talked about. Of that 2.5 minutes, I think at least a minute, maybe a minute and a half of it, we picked up by people going, you know, I mean, there's 3 extra seconds. There's another. So yeah. And again, you know, when we get into those meetings, you know, the senior producer and the assignment manager are going to print out a rundown. They're going to print out the scripts. Your responsibility, like I keep saying, if I'm the anchor or I'm the reporter, I'm going to make damn sure I've got that script in my hand, okay? And when I'm looking at it, I know exactly where I am. So that's where I'm going to follow along, and that becomes critical. And yeah, that prompter's going to go down. Quite frankly, we nearly had.
Almost started crawling.
I was about to say we came close to disaster tonight because, you know, we had the news source scripts up, and about 30 seconds to air. Yeah.
Like when y'all were doing y'all's mic checks?
Yeah, that's when Dylan, and again, remember
Oh,
you
the
guys.
opening, I didn't save it, so that was my fault.
Yeah, the opening didn't happen. That was.
That was on me.
All right, Brian, you're on. Yeah, you did the package, right? Yeah. No, we're done A block. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jerron. That's who I want. You're next.
He's going to be important.
Said. And see, I think our package was very weak at first. Castengera kept telling us that what are we doing, and my button fell off when. Oh, that's a different story. I'm sorry. And I was rushing. I left class, and then I'm getting fat. And okay, the package, as I was saying. So the package. The package.
The package.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell them. The package, and it became stronger whenever I made some phone calls because Castengera told us to, and all in all, he's a great executive producer. Shouts out to him. I know, right? And I just want to thank my team because it was kind of stressful. In all seriousness, it was really stressful at one point, trying to find an angle and not really promoting the teen advisory board, because you get to a point where you're just telling us a cool story about teenagers, and then you forget that this has to be a news story. And I think we did a great job in finding out information. And our shots were shaky because of the camera. There's a thing, Grady. Yeah, Grady. Yeah, I'm just letting you know, Grady. Your cameras are just shaking all of a sudden. So, yeah, Sonny knows, and now you know whenever you grade us. So, but yeah. So, you want to say anything, man? Yeah, shouts out to me.
So check this out. We went up yesterday or day before yesterday to cover another story. It got rained out. So I hit up my guys. I said, bro, we got nothing. They were like, we got to get something. I was like, we got nothing. So then hit me up Monday. It was like, man, we got a little story. Keep it 100. I was like, bro, this story's kind of trash. But we made it into chicken salad. And I got to say, it turned out pretty nice. One thing, if you ever got a story that's kind of boo-boo like that, just look for something fresh on it. Like, just, harden it up. Because with ours was kind of whack. Like, who cares about kids? Like, Castengera told us, like, who cares about he told us, who cares about kids reading in the library? Like, that seriously. Like, this story came out, I'd be like, change the channel, ESPN. But I was like, whoa, they're helping homeless people. They're teaching families how to budget. So, sometimes you just got to, finesse finagle and find out new facts.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the keys is you hit a key phrase, harden it up, folks. Get me some facts, figures. Tell me, remember that thing I keep talking about, the 3 I's, interest, impact, immediacy. The biggest thing I want is impact, impact, impact. What we're going to be doing through this whole rest of 570 is most of your stuff won't have immediacy. I may throw a loop at you one time and say, guess what, we're going to do some breaking news at a point. But most of the time you have to look at high interest, high impact. How many people are affected? What level of interest is. And yeah, this particular one when we started out was, okay, there's a bunch of kids that go to a art show at the library. Wow. Damn. You know what? I really don't care. I really don't. Trust me, I've got that many kids my own. I don't need, you're saying, gee, there's 50 kids. Well, congratulations. I got that damn many kids as grandkids. Big deal. We needed to get the numbers. We needed to get some facts and figures and harden that one up. In the package that you did, Jerron, and that we don't have it up, were all of those teenagers in that package of yours? The Teen Advisory Board? Okay. It just struck me, the one shot I saw of now there's one shot of one of the people in there, one of the ladies, I think it was her. It just, you did, the woman there? Her. Really? Okay, I mean, I literally, that's... Okay. No, really, I'm not sure homeschooling has anything to do with it. Yeah, I know, it did, honestly, when I saw it, I thought I'd misheard. I mean, okay. Well, regardless, she's obviously a very mature young lady, and she's good. Okay, cool. That was the only question I had. So we're doing the SOTs, and another question that came up on all these things. Don't force the VO. I don't want to see VO of generic people. Get VO. Think of that. We ended up with a couple of things, and this is also on our scripting, VO and SOT. And remember, we cut them separately, and the mechanics of getting that done. So minor detail, but something to watch. All right, C block, Niamani, grab a microphone.
Hey everyone. So we did ours on football in downtown Athens, and I mean it's been repeated over and over. We needed hard facts because in our package we didn't. Stop looking at me like that. Because in our package we didn't have hard facts, so it was just basically just interviewing owners and employees and managers without backing it up. Let's see. At first I was worried about B-roll, and I realized the shots that we did, because me and Fernando went together. My team's awesome. They did a really good job. Me and Fernando shot everything together. But I was realizing, like, when we were shooting, we kept, like, trying to adjust it, and it was on record. So when I try to get, like, 5 or 6 seconds of it, it's like I really couldn't, because like if you said something, like it would move a little bit to adjust, and so we have to learn how to hold it still more so I can actually get a good one to put in the package. Oh.
Yeah, a lot of it.
And it was dark.
Yeah,
okay,
a lot of it, and it's soft. A lot of your shots were real soft. You guys got to, zoom in, focus, zoom back out, and check, because he's soft. The other stuff was pretty soft. Where did this stuff come from?
Okay, so this is what happened. So we decided to do the story after the football game, but James had caught it on an iPhone when he went to the football game. So we just had to use it. We just had to use the video. So what?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I don't care.
Okay, folks, let's have one conversation. Yeah, the point is, at that point, I mean, we send a team there, and they shoot with 2 good cameras, and we've got a boatload of video.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but that's standard. Remember to ask and check on it, because News Source, we send a crew to every game, home game, and we could have done. And the same thing with the guy that was interviewed there. That was real soft stuff. Okay.
Because we had it on auto, we didn't focus it ourselves, we just had it on auto.
Yeah, we need to flip it over and go to manual and then focus in and double check. And it's odd, because then your next shot is tight on it, okay? So look at that. And the other one that we talked about, you've talked about a little bit, is, yes, folks, be careful of the stories that have been beaten to death. The football impact is a story, we pretty well cover that 16 million times in the whatever 15 years I've been here, okay? Got to figure out the new angle. Look at the questions, and I'm glad to hear you work together as a team, challenge each other as a team, and thinking it through. So, all right, cool. One other was on that one. Yeah, Fernanda. Yeah, because we ended up repeating video from the package into the VOSOT.
I guess we both just used it.
Yeah, that's where you've got to be communicating and double checking, because I mean, literally came straight out of her package and used the exact same
when
shot.
all of them were walking together, remember?
It was the exact same shot. Yeah. Were you okay anchoring?
Yes, I was. I actually finding angles.
Folks, thank you.
Finding angles was the tough part for our team, and James was just awesome. James, he was so awesome today, and Niamani as well. I really like my team, but angles, and also he was talking about. That's a great little love
fest we got going on. That's great.
Well,
that's
it's true.
Good.
It's true. And then also what he was saying, they to put the microphone in, my shirt worked really bad for that. So that was also kind of tough. But yeah, I would say angles was like our biggest challenge today, and I guess video.
Yeah, and I'm going to pick on you because you're a big girl and you can take it. Read your scripts aloud, folks, all of you. Instead of profit, you had profot, and it's like, what? And instead of bureau, you had bureau when you spoke. Read aloud. A lot of times what you read, especially when you read scripts, and I do it in my head, I'm reading it perfectly. But you will find your lips doing it, especially as your anchor. I will read it. I want to see what happens. You know, we had a little bit of voice coaching earlier in the semester. The mouth and what you use makes a huge difference.
I also think, I don't know if like my accent comes out sometimes and it screws up the words. Even when I'm talking normally, like to someone.
Yeah, but you know what? That to me is an asset, not a deficit. It's just when the words come out, a little odd. You got to be careful. That's all. All right. Natalie, fashion show.
All right, I'm Natalie Rowe, and I had D Block, and I think that our package, I was really happy with the way our package went. I thought I got a lot of B-roll and everything, and ended up Emily used a lot of my stuff for her shots, so I thought that was really helpful that I shot extra stuff because it ended up working better for our story. But at the beginning of the weekend, I was told we were going to scrap this story, and so I think but we ended up getting a really, well, not maybe really good, but I was happy with the story that came out of it. So I think if you have an event that you really want to cover, that you think you'll be able to get a lot of information, because I knew it'd be a lot of good shots to come from it, then really do try to find a different angle, and we ended up finding a really good angle through it. So if you're ever worried or concerned about something, just go through with it if you feel confident, because that's what I learned, and I was pretty happy with the way it turned out. So Danielle was really great and came over from the other class, and so she helped me with my sequences and everything, and I think it just flowed really nicely. So I was pretty happy with the way it turned out.
Yeah, I think, I mean, you had some good video in it. I think, that was the only minor detail.
It was too long.
Yeah, it was way too long. You know, and again, the good thing is do that. I want to see you doing walking shots, walk in and out, okay? So if I'm doing it, I'm going to do it right in front of the door. And then what you do is you turn, okay? And when you turn, then you're going to set the camera up, and you're going to turn and come in. And then you can cut action. It'll be even better that way. But you needed to tighten it up because there was about 3 seconds of dead air, etc. You know, just watching. Well, there's Natalie's back walking along.
I hate justifying. Wait, can we go back to it? I hate justifying things, but I think what we struggled with her initial shot in the stand-up, we wanted the sign to show where we were. But because the street is on an angle, we couldn't get that without her being that far away.
I see what you're saying.
So
but
then
you know
I
what?
was
But you know what?
take it
Nobody else noticed that. The only thing they noticed was what she had in her hand, and that was going to be your key. Quite frankly, again, just a little bit of the timing. I'm gonna cut, and you can do multiples. But see what I'm sitting there going, you're in Dynamite, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because
I'd never even register. There's not a single viewer that saw that.
Okay.
Don't worry about those things, especially for the reporter. Your reporter stand-ups are meant to illustrate the point, and that's what you were trying to do, is illustrate it and say, okay. And quite frankly, you could have done it inside the place as well. I would have just grabbed anything off it and say, wow, see this? Hey, it's $60 here. At the fair, that same one, $30 or whatever the heck, okay? So, No, I just made that up. You had the interview with Ana Orrego.
Yeah. That's Valentina's older sister.
That's what?
Valentina's older sister.
Yeah, we got to be careful with that. I don't want us doing that. We don't interview people that we have a relationship with, because for the viewer, they think, well, yeah, that's self-serving. It sounds like we're doing a story, okay? If people get that impression, they go, then I'm not sure I believe you, okay? You've always got to keep a distance. If for some reason we think it's critical, we'll say something, okay? We'll acknowledge it, but you know.
Well, we weren't going to use her in the package. We didn't end up using her in the package. I didn't use her in the package, but I think we just ran out of, or Emily couldn't find another shot that we liked or that fit with the package, so that's why we ended up having to use it. But she wasn't obviously our first choice.
Can you whisper into the mic?
he added it to our anchor package. Yeah, I guess I didn't even realize. I think that we knew that was Valentina's sister, but I didn't put it.
Yeah,
edit
we
that.
just,
That was like
again,
a bad thing.
it's not like it's a big deal, but we'll see the research. A lot of times the viewers have, they have a mistrust of us in the news media already, as was evidenced by, the Republican National Committee and the incident in Missouri. But anything we do that says, hold on, that's your friend that you did the story with, they say, well, I'm not sure that's valid. Okay? The stories are there. You're getting much, I keep saying it, and I can honestly say they're getting better week to week, but I am getting a little bit of frustration of I need to get the multiple angles, okay? And facts, and figures. I want to hear more. I want to get some more meat and substance to these things. As you said when you were doing the show and it's over, well, there's a lot of things that are happening. So give me some numbers. How many people? We had to pull those figures back out and put them into these stories. You've got to tell me something that gives me meat and substance, okay? Don't get stuck on this package VOSOT VO reader routine. I want one package that's strong, that's powerful, and I'm looking at multiple angles. And every one of these topics you pick, folks, I can sit there and say, I can come up with 6, 7, 8 different angles to it. Think of that. And let's not be doing these, okay, not being overly critical, but I don't want to do I've got to do a package and I got to throw something together for Castingera's, mock show on Tuesday or whatever. That ain't what you're trying to do. You're trying to produce something that looks good. So let's do one quick round robin with the anchors. Any last thoughts from the anchors? Walk around. Joseph, we sort of heard from you. Emily, since you have a mic, you're on.
Hi, I'm Emily. I don't really know what to say. So in terms of kind of what I was trying to work on as an anchor, I tried to talk slower because I know I have a really long southern drawl. So I want to learn to speak faster. So I tried to speak a little bit faster and look not as tense. That's just like my notes. And then overall, today I learned that when you do interviews, sometimes you just don't get good interviews. And I interviewed 2 people, and both of them were not good. So I was like, what? So you just have to kind of learn how to dig for what works when that happens, because that hasn't happened to me yet, because all my interviews are like banging. But yeah, today wasn't the day. Yeah.
Okay. And part of that is the interview process. Again, folks, remember what I keep saying. If you have a conversation, and if you're doing an interview and that thing runs 10 minutes, no, you're not getting anywhere, okay? Your interviews, conversations with people are going to last at the most 3 to 4 minutes, at the most. And I know when I'm asking them, I just want to say, hey, I'm having a conversation. Let me ask you a question. I'm curious about this. Not, what do you say about so-and-so? You're going to get a canned response, okay? Have a conversation, that's going to be 10 times better. Joseph?
I just want to say, as a class, see a lot of progress being made here, guys, and I'm really proud of y'all. I just want to say that.
We're all going to break into a rendition of Kumbaya later.
I just want to say I love my group, too, as well. They did a fantastic job.
Brian, you're on.
Actually did a fantastic job, too. Shout out, Matt.
Yo, y'all hear me? All right, so I just want to say anything to you guys. If you're ever anchoring, take your time. It's just you and the camera, no nerves. If you want to be free, dab. It's something light. Next, C Block. Anything you want to say?
I think having a conversation with someone. I actually talked to Castingera about that because I interviewed someone really cool from Egypt, but I have no idea where he was from after. He came young. So I never asked him before Athens where he came from, and that was pretty big.
Yeah, and it was that was a good example. We just said, oh, that's interesting. Where did they come from? And you went, oh, because you were interviewing him instead of having a conversation with him. All right, producer, you've got 10 seconds, and then you've got the last.
It was a pleasure working with you guys today. Thanks for not yelling at me too much. Appreciate all you guys.
Whatever.
So I don't have anything
Yeah.
else to say. I don't know why you threw it to me so early. So I'm just gonna. No, I'm just waiting for.
Give
like,
what? No,
Yeah,
I don't do
5
bars and rap, man.
Well, you've
All
waited
right.
such a long time that now this is actually the time that I have to say.
Okay, sorry.
Good night, but thank you for wasting the time. All right, good night.
All right. Look for next week, and then remember.